Hello, my name is Tom Ammermann and I'm the General Manager of New Audio Technology from Hamburg, Germany. Welcome to the AES Immersive Academy 2. I'd like to show you the new Spatial Audio Designer available in Q3. Multi-format audio and music production and delivery just with your audio workstation is what I like to show you here. Applications, of course, music and movie and TV, as well as broadcast and industry applications like for full domes or installations or something like that. Here are some bullet points, important stuff for such productions and supported by the Spatial Audio Designer. The new Spatial Audio Designer is, as the old version 2, a production tool, so it helps you to create immersive audio, also 5.1, 7.1. For example, if you have a stereo workstation like Ableton, you can create 5.1, you can monitor it, and you can export the master just with that plugin. So you don't have to buy a new audio workstation. And also, if you have a workstation like Nuendo or Pro Tools what supports immersive audio, the plugin helps you with a lot of things. For example, it helps you to create mixes for formats not supported by that audio workstations as well. For example, a dome application where you have a lot of loudspeakers and totally away from every format, a 60-channel loudspeaker system. It is supported by the Spatial Audio Designer, and you can do it with your stereo audio workstation. You can monitor it, you can output it to the real loudspeaker system, and you can also monitor it on virtual loudspeaker systems with regular headphones. And it, of course, supports you in your workflows, so we create not a new cosmos. So we just create the panning stuff you need for working with the audio objects in your mix or your audio sources in a 3D space, but we do not put something else to it. So everything what you did before with your compressors, EQs and new voodoo tools or favorite plugins, you continue to do it with these tools, and just need the Spatial Audio Designer to make it 3D to work with audio sources in the space. It supports channel-based but also object-based, and this is something I like to point out in this session a bit. And well, binaural monitoring. Let me give you just one slide here. We work with real measured studios. The advantage of that is you create a mix on a virtual loudspeaker system, what helps you to create a version or a mix version what finally works on real loudspeaker system as you expected. Because if you use just with an externalization, binaural processing, what is just doing externalization, you may not do the right judgments in regard of reverb, for example. And this is the reason why we offer this. We offer small mastering studios, big mixing stages, dub stages, and cinema stages, and also real cinema measurements, as well as domes, full domes, and so on. So you have all you need to create a mix for totally different applications just with your regular headphone. Let me give you a brief introduction how this plug-in suite works in your audio workstation. It consists of 3 modules: the send module, the mix module, and the channel out modules. The send modules are placed in your source tracks, deliver the audio to our mixing engine, what is running in the background. The audio workstation do not know anything about it. We call it virtual bus, but it is still in the plugin domain. So it is inside the buffer size. Every processing is inside the buffer size of your audio workstation, means 0 latency. It's pretty cool. And it's a plugin. You have a send module per track, so you have a panning for every source, exactly where the source is. Shows you just the source in a 3D space. And the mix module is always placed in a stereo master strip. And you see here all the sends, or the objects, or the sends you send in the mix module and in the mixing engine, and it delivers from this stereo track of your workstation. It delivers the binaural processing for your headphones. And finally, you have the channel out modules placed in output tracks of your audio workstation, where you route the mixing channels, 5x1, stereo, 7x1, whatever, the way you want to make it. So you can work with mono tracks, stereo tracks. If you have a larger workstation what supports immersive audio, you can also use a 4-track or 6-track at 6 channel tracks, where you can place channel out modules with 6 slots, or you can say channel slots in, and then you can allocate, I show it in the session in a minute, each output of the mix you did here in the virtual bus and the production engine and the rendering engine. So okay, let's just jump over to the Pro Tools session. This is how it looks like. This is the Spatial Audio Designer, the new version, what supports also different views I show later. And here you see, this is the mix module. Here you see all the objects. Here you can see the placement and the movement in the 3D space. And here you have also monitoring. So we will give you a monitoring for 5x1, 7x1, whatever. You do not need an extra monitoring hardware or software tool to manage the monitoring on your loudspeaker system in your studio or on site. For example, in a dome with 60 speakers, you have the possibility to monitor each speaker separately or in groups. So everything is here in this output monitoring. And as you showed on the slide before, here you see the send modules placed in your source tracks. You see here the master track where the mix module is, this one here. And here you see the output channel out modules. Looks pretty not very complicated, not complex. It's just routing. So you say which virtual bus you want to output here. You can work with more than one virtual bus in the background. And here you say, hey, here I want to have this, the left channel, and here the right channel, and you go further to the center and LFE, and left side surround, right side surround, and so on. So you can use as many channel out modules as you want. That's pretty much it. And now I'd like to show you the export. So how to deliver it, or how to do the master for different formats. So first, if you create a mix, you can just run here an audio a mix, and in 9.1, so we see all the outputs here. But I can also switch instantly to, let's say, a stereo version. So now, as you can see, I hear this stereo rendering of all the objects, placements, and movements. I can go up to stereo 5.1, for example, if I need something for a movie version, or Netflix, or whatever. And now you can see here you have 3 times stereo, so 6 channels output. And so every format, so also if you go to a planetarium like this here, or for a dub stage, it is just a click, and all the objects, the placement and the movements is rendered in real time to this format. So now I'd like to show you how to export it. Of course, you can here record it or bounce it in your audio workstation. But the easier way, and where you have more options, is to use a real-time site export. You can do it manually. You can also do it with timecode, so in output. And I just prepared here and hit play. Like now, as you can see, it is exporting. And if I stop, you see this here, the real-time site export. Oh no, this is a real-time site export, and this is an offline export tool. It has selected automatically the export I did here. You can decide here which format you want to, if you want to have just one file with a lot of channels inside, or individual WAV files. And here, this is a cool thing here. You can say, I want to export what I did here in the format I use for the production 5.1. But I can also say, oh no, I want to have the rendering of the this is a complete object-based, a temporary object-based master, what is here on your disk. and is used to render to stereo, but you can also go then to the 5.1 version. And after that, you can also go to, let's say, to a Dolby Atmos 714 master file. So it's not for an encoder, Dolby Atmos encoder file. It's the format 714, what you can export here. But it's also for Amplicate or Oro is using a different allocation. But you can also go, well, if you say you need also a version for Oro, so a 9.1, then you can go with not this one here. So this is it's also for DTS or MBO or Amplicate. It's a 9.1. Let's go to this. So now then you decide the place where you want to export it in to, and then you're ready. So you have all the formats you need, maybe for a Blu-ray or a Netflix or Amazon master, the stereo version, the 5.1 version, and maybe a 714 version or something like that. Oh yeah, that's it. But let's talk a little bit more about object-based. Object-based. As you understand what it is, you have all your sources discretely in your master, and you have all the metadata where they are placed in a space and where they move. But does it help you for end user experiences? Because there are now not really devices at the user side where you can work with object-based masters. So this is the reason why our object-based is in our proprietary format, but you can export it to channel-based masters. But there are also object-based masters. Of course, Dolby Atmos, you know that. There are some, it has a bed, a 712 bed, and objects, but honestly, in music production, you mostly use a 714 mix. So you use the 7.1 of the bed. You don't use it to up channels from the bed, but use 4 objects and put them to the front, left, right, and surround left, right, without any movement. And this is the way how you create mostly a music mix. Sometimes you work also with some objects, but music is mostly mixed that way. But there is an object-based format in the market available for everybody, and this is Amplicate. The current Spatial Audio Designer supports Amplicate, and the new Spatial Audio Designer in Q3 looks a little bit different. So a lot of extensions, includes the new Fraunhofer library, and allows you to work or to create an object-based master for end users. And the approach of Amplicate is to create a personal audio experiences. And in Amplicate, you work with so-called components. Components are submixes as well as discrete sources. Submix like a 501. This is a Formula 1 race example. You have an ambience and 501. You have a radio communication between the driver and the pit crew. Just mono. It's not doesn't have to be stereo. But you have here the ambient from the drive in and drive out from the pit stop, as well as 2 narrators, just a mono. And these are components who used to create a personal audio experience on the end user side. It looks like this here. The end user finally has on his TV set, and there are a lot of TV sets who support Amplicate, such a display, and you can create with a Spatial Audio Designer. I'll show you in the next slide, in the later slide. You can create a master file where you define in some presets how the components you have, and you can create in the Spatial Audio Designer in your audio workstation, not in a Spatial Audio workstation. And you create the way how the end user should experience it. So for example, creating 2 presets, one without narrators, one with narrators, and you create an extra component called switch group, what allows you just to listen to one of this component, because it doesn't make sense to hear the English and the German narrator on the same at the same time. And this is finally what your export with a real-time side export I showed you. You can create a master what can be encoded to Amplicate. So it's an Amplicate master. You have to encode for broadcast or for file-based, that the end user finally can use this here on his TV set, where you can say, I want to listen less level for the ambience, I want to hear the narrator English, but not the pitch, the radio communication. So depends to you as a producer what you allow the end users to control on his TV set. And this looks like that. So this is an Amplicate session. Here you see the components. In this session I have a 7.1+4 bed, and I have 3 narrators. And here are the send modules placed in the source tracks. Here here you see the mix module in a master track, and of course you can also monitor it with the binaural processing I explained before. And here you see a lot of channel out modules to route the signals to a real loudspeaker system. And let me open the mix module. This is one of the new view opportunities you have. You can change here to sphere or not sphere mode, and you have a lot of possibilities to tune or to suit the display of the objects and of the panning the way you are interested in or you like it. And you have here, of course, also the send or the source tracks, so the objects. And here you see the authoring boxes you have for Amplicate and the Spatial Audio Designer. Here are the components. You have a so-called premix provided by the Spatial Audio Designer to create here the 7.1.4 bed and dealing with extra objects, in this case with the narrators. And here I created a switch group, and here I create the presets. I just created 2 presets here. And you have here, let me close the export here. You have here a monitoring. This is a monitoring what do the same what happens on the end user TV set. So to help you to control, does all the stuff you create, the presets and the ranges and the switch groups and so on, does it work the way you want to have it for the end user at home? And this is a monitoring where you can check everything, and then you're ready to go. So, and after you did this here, let me open here the real-time side export again. I just click prepare. I just run it. So in the background, you can see it, but now you can see it. The background Pro Tools is running, and the Spatial Audio Designer is exporting. And here you can also see the levels in the send modules, and you can see also in the output module here the outputs. Let me close it here. And now I just stop Pro Tools. And now you have again the offline export tool. You get here information about the loudness. And now it is by default selected. It's an Amplicate export. It's again, the export is automatically allocated. And you can here decide to different formats, Amplicate formats you want to export it to. And you can also say, anyway, I want to do it. I want to have all the placements and the movements in it just in a simple stereo channel-based export. But well, in this application, of course, you want to have an Amplicate master, and you just have to select a folder where you want to put it in, and you have a master, an Amplicate master. Well, maybe let's do it here. Pretty short test. Start it, and as you can see, now that's it. This is the export, and now you have an Amplicate file. I think it's on the desktop. Let's see where it is. Yeah, there is it. And here are the loudness information of your export, and that's it. So if you have any question, if you need any further information, just have a look to our website. You're welcome, and it will look a little bit different, but pretty soon we create a new website. And yeah, so I hope you have a great time here and see a lot of cool sessions, and see you soon on on a fair or on an AES in person as soon as possible. Bye bye.